What is going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to talk about WrestleMania 6, the Ultimate Challenge from Toronto, Ontario, at the Skydome, now the Rogers Center. Let's get right into this, and I'll go through the matches, discuss certain matches, and yeah, just enjoy WrestleMania 6. So right off the bat, in a dark match, Paul Roma versus the Brooklyn Brawler. Brawlers always seem to be that jobber. So did Paul Roma. It's kind of weird to see them go against each other. And you had Paul Roma winning. Brawler never wins anything, so it kind of makes sense. Then the first match of the actual WrestleMania card, we had Demolition Axe and Smash defeating the Colossal Connection, which was Haku and Andre the Giant. Basically, this was the point where Andre the Giant turned babyface. Basically, Andre had been a heel for years. Andre's body was wear and tear. He was, going through a lot of pain and, had enough of Bobby Heenan's in his ear. So, Bobby Heenan got up in Andre's face and was yelling at him about the loss. And Andre ended up just knocking out Heenan. And it was an amazing moment because everyone, hated Andre for so long. But it was good to see that Andre ended his career on a babyface level. And then we had Earthquake with Jimmy Hart versus Hercules. Basically, the battle of the big man. Earthquake ended up winning this one. Then we had Brutus Beefcake versus Mr.Perfect, and Brutus Beefcake ended up winning. And the Genius was in Mr. Perfect's corner, and this is when the Genius actually got his head shaved. So that was the kind of hair match for the WrestleMania. Then we had Rowdy Piper versus Bad News Brown. This was, of course, when Piper came up with the split black and white face, which caused a lot of controversy. But the both individuals, it was sort of like a brawl. They just fought to a no contest. Then we had the Hart Foundation. The Hart Foundation defeating the Bolsheviks, Nikolai Volkov and Boris Zukov. They did a funny promo in the locker room in the shower with, I think it was Rene Goulet. And it was just really funny. Like Nikolai Volkov and them can actually they did a lot of comedy skits, even though they were such good wrestlers. So the Hart Foundation won that one. Then we had the Barbarian versus Tito Santana. The Barbarian ended up beating Tito Santana, so he the Barbarian was actually managed by Bobby Heenan. His part of Powers of Pain, and Mr. Fuji had sold off the Barbarian to Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Warlord off to Slick. Then we had Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire versus Randy, Macho King Savage, and Sensational Sherri. This was, took place because Sherri hated Sapphire. Dusty Rhodes and Macho Man had their feud going on. And Sapphire and Dusty Rhodes got the win and ended up dancing in the middle of the ring. So it was an okay match. It wasn't the greatest match. I would have loved to see Dusty Rhodes and Macho Man actually have like an actual wrestling match because they're such technicians in the ring. Then we had the Orient Express defeating the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty by countout. I hate when matches would end in countouts. It just didn't make sense to me. I wish they, could have clear victories. Disqualifications are okay, but countouts just make no sense. If they're going to be part of a big event like WrestleMania, I don't think there should be countouts. Then we had Jim Duggan defeating Dino Bravo, who had Jimmy Hart and Earthquake in his corner. Jim Duggan, it was kind of weird because people were cheering USA for Jim Duggan, but they were in Canada. It just didn't really make sense. Then we had Ted DiBiase defeating Jake the Snake Roberts. It was for the $1 Million Championship, and basically, Virgil was in their corner. He won versus countout again. So it was one of those things where there's a lot of countouts on this pay-per-view, but it's still a great pay-per-view. But it's just one of those things. Then we had the Big Boss Man defeating Akeem with Slick in his corner. This was the Battle of the Twin Towers. Big Boss Man had turned face, and Akeem, of course, was still the African Dream. Then we had Rick Rude defeating Jimmy Superfly Snuka. Both of those individuals, I've already said, Snuka's already in the Hall of Fame. Rick Rude definitely needs to be in the Hall of Fame one day. It just doesn't make sense to me why he's not in the Hall of Fame yet. Then we had the Ultimate Challenge, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan for the WWF and the Intercontinental title, title versus title. And the Ultimate Warrior, of course, won. It was him taking the ball that Hulk Hogan had carried for so long. And of course, we all know they ended up dropping it. But at the same time, it was a great moment to see him win both titles from where he'd come from, winning the Intercontinental title, getting all the hype up to this, seeing them face to face with each other at the Royal Rumble, and then for him to eventually win both titles was just a great moment in wrestling history. So I want to get your guys' take on WrestleMania 6. Please comment below. If you like this video, definitely give it a like. If you're not sub, definitely sub. Hit the sub button above. And I'll catch you guys later. I'm out. Peace.